The political and trending topics of the week. Monday, a federal panel of judges blocked Alabama's new congressional district map, saying that it violated the Voting Rights Act and that Black voters have less opportunity than other Alabamians to elect candidates of their choice. Does this blockage spark hope for Democrats? Ed.
Hope. I don't know that I would say hope. This is exactly what you would expect the federal courts to do. And no surprise, we were teasing out, and we've talked about this on past shows, the number of times that we're seeing Republican-led efforts to restrict voting access. In Alabama, it's particularly evident on these congressional maps. Currently, Alabama has, I think, one Democrat congressional elected versus 6 Republicans. No coincidence that it's one African American that's representing the Democratic Party from the Alabama group. This is 40% Democrat. And so when you start to see how unbalanced the representation is, you can tell that how the maps are being drawn, it really is to disenfranchise not just African Americans, but Democrats in the state of Alabama. And so hope, I'm glad to see that it's occurring, but this is something that should occur. This is why it's in place.
Dr. Oleka?
Well, let me first thank Ed for being so happy that the Trump-appointed federal bench led the way in making sure that this would be changed, because as we should all note, the people who are on the court, the 3 judges, are all Republicans. One was appointed by Bill Clinton. The other 2 were appointed by Donald J. Trump. So the activist court that's so bad for Black people did a very good thing in this case. Let us all remember that. The actual map that was put forward by the Republican legislature in Alabama was virtually the same map as it's been since the 90s. The thing is, the people have changed. As Ed pointed out, there is a higher percentage now of Black folks than there were in 1992. So I think this is probably the right decision. I haven't looked at the maps, but ideally you want to have them be as compact as possible. I think this will likely go to the Supreme Court, which will be interesting to see how they rule and what they rule on. Is it a technicality? Is it based on Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act? We shall see, but this is certainly one to watch.
Well, then I hope your comment about Trump's appointed court ages well once it gets to the Supreme Court. Dominique?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think hope for America more than hope for Democrats or Republicans, because the gerrymandering, voter suppression, and the stuffing of election boards with Trump loyalists is problematic. Gerrymandering has been problematic anyway because it disenfranchises voters by drawing these weird, awkward voting districts that allow people that would not really legitimately be able to represent an area to represent that area. Republicans do this because in most cases, they can't win otherwise. They are the minority party. I'm glad you're so happy with all the judges that the former president put in place. But the point is, we have to have a fair system, that we actually have representative democracy. And right now, with the Senate being 2 per state, no matter how many people live there, with the gerrymandering where Republicans are carving out districts to give themselves advantages, they have disproportionate representation in this country, and it is not fair. And until we fix it, and I don't care whose judges do it, it has to be done. I think it's going to happen federally. That's why we need voting rights bills. That's why we need to look at reforming the Supreme Court and the Senate, adding DC as a state, so that we can get back to having a democracy where your impact is the same for your vote, no matter what your color or your district.
You think this is headed to the Supreme Court, Dominique?
I mean, I don't know. I honestly, I don't have enough information about it to make a prediction based on that. But I do think our country is headed for a reckoning around what is representative democracy really mean, and how do we stop Republicans from hijacking our democracy so that they can continue to rule even though they are in the minority and will continue to become a smaller and smaller portion of our electorate.
The Democrats literally just won the presidency and the Senate.
Oh, he admits it. Oh, he admits
somehow,
it.